succeeded. Some of us have succeeded. And we tend to have succeeded better when we were left to our own resources. There was a reason that Black Wall Street was destroyed because those white people were jealous.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well,
Has
when you
anybody
say
here read?
jealous,
Did anybody read Cast?
I
What's
did.
that? Spell it.
Oh,
Spell it.
excuse me.
Cast.
I'm
C
reading
A
it
S T
now.
E.
Joyce Wilkinson's book.
Oh,
I'm reading it now.
I didn't read that one.
Isabel Wilkerson, and she
Yeah, I
is
read. Yeah.
it is
Is that
required
is that her
reading
new
in
book?
America.
Okay.
No,
Is that
that's
her
been
new
out for a
book?
while. It's been out for a couple years. Caste,
Okay.
Caste by Isabel Wilkerson. She also wrote The Warmth of Other Suns, but Caste, I believe, should be
That's a fabulous
required
book.
reading for
Well, let's
everyone
make that one.
in America. But this is all the things you're talking about right now.
Mm.
Let's make her book a discussion.
So, but if everybody read it, we can't make it a discussion. But we can talk about the caste system. And the caste system, under this caste system comes all of this. What is the caste system? I mean, and all of this kind of falls under that.
Well, I would say, what is the caste system within the African Americans system? Because we got that light versus dark thing going on. We put our
I
own
know.
caste on us. But you're right.
I think,
Okay,
and I
that
think,
sounds good.
I think that if we talk about what is the caste system, then these are subtopics. I mean, we could talk about, okay, well, in addition to this big caste system, let's talk about what that looks like for just us, and how we beat each other down, and based on.
Oh yeah.
So I
But
don't
the
know.
broader
That seems
thing
to
to
be.
me, Charlene, is a topic
Uh-huh.
to me is limiting beliefs. All of this has to do with limiting beliefs. We limiting limiting beliefs. A belief that someone is, I'm trying to think of some examples. Of a limiting belief is black doctors aren't as good as white doctors. A limiting belief is I don't think that I'm ever going to beat the system. A limiting belief is, you know, believing in statistics like 3 out of 5 young black men will be in jail. We're creating. I believe we all create our own reality, and we all have limiting beliefs, and they have truly stifled humanity. And where did those limiting beliefs come from? And that's about the next topic that we're about to go into. What is the
Well,
origin of these limiting beliefs?
but I also
I
think, I mean, we can talk about that, but I think we can't talk about that without talking about the reality is, this country was built with these things in place
Oh,
right,
purposely
absolutely.
to
Oh,
keep, and so
absolutely.
we can't just take a
right.
piece out of it. And I want to remind you, well, who is our audience? Who is the audience that we're talking to? And I've been trying to ask what are the demographics and who are we talking to and who's listening. And so I don't want to be very clear, and we have a big responsibility to make sure we're clear. So I think that we can have a big topic and we can have subtopics in there, but I don't think we can talk about one thing without talking about the other. We can't talk about how we just, we're like beating our own asses without talking about, how did we get here?
Yeah, there you go.
But then that goes
How
back
did we get
to
here? And we didn't just get here by ourselves. That's what I'm saying. Now now that we're here, we are doing a damn, we're doing a job on ourselves, but we didn't get here by ourselves. So I don't
Actually,
know.
the
I'm just
first
trying to
time we did. The first time we did. The second time we didn't. Historically speaking.
what do
You're
you
right. You're right, Kathy Lee. And that's what people need to know. Now we were people because we came with the adventurers. We were on many of the early ships that came in the early 1500s.
We were here before that, according to Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. And there are people that are saying that if the first people on the planet are Africans, everybody on the planet is an African, then it stands to reason that, I just finished reading Dr. Jackson's book, Christianity Before Christ. And they start talking about, I don't call them pygmies, but they start calling them, I call them Mbutu or the Twi or the Twa people, whoever they are. But it's deep. It's deep, and this topic we're about to go into is deep. And there are some
All right,
things that are
what's
gonna
the second
upset
topic for
some
the
folks or
19th?
whatever.
Let's get that done, please.
Okay, just tell
Okay.
me, so we know all the things we're gonna talk about, so all I'm asking is, what's an open, how can we, what's the slug, what's the title of this,
The essential
what are we gonna call it?
question.
We know all the things that are coming under it, but what can we call it that's wide enough
Well, you already got
to cover all the
traditional
things that we're talking about right now?
life. Life.
I'm trying to think.
Black life.
No, I thought we were talking about systems. Everything is a system.
Yeah, she's bony on that one.
Well, I'm back
Everything
to
is
what
a system.
and I'm back to the
The caste. Let's do the caste
I
system.
can't think.
The caste system. The
And that
caste
kinda
system is
covers-
broad because everything feeds into that.
And
Limiting
exactly, that's what I'm
beliefs.
saying. Everything.
Everything feeds back into the caste system. Limiting beliefs, the
Yes.
systems in place to keep those limiting beliefs in place, to keep the caste system
Who's
functioning.
gonna lead that?
Everything functions with that one. The prison system
Okay,
is a
so
caste
You
system.
want to take the caste system?
Sure,
gonna
if you
take the
want
lead
me
on that?
to. If you want me to, I will.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
go
and how
ahead.
about black businesses? Who's taking the lead on that one?
Gary.
You two men, one of you two men should do that one because you're out there where it is.
Gary.
Gary,
Gary, you frozen?
Gary froze.
Can you
Oh.
can
can he hear us?
no, he's frozen.
Well,
Just
tell
put
him,
his
let
name
him
down
know
and
he's
tell him he's
taking
doing
it.
business.
I'm gonna put Gary's name next to that.
Yeah, because
See, that's
he's
what
out
Yeah,
there
put his
doing
name
it.
next to that.
Frozen. Okay, so in the next two, we're gonna start. Gary, please refresh your screen so we can start taping within in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, he needs to go out and come back in.
Yeah, go out and come back in. So I will send an email with these two subjects, and I will send links. Just to get you started. You can add whatever other links you want, but I'm gonna text him. Yeah.
Charlene,
Yes.
your producer experience shows through because your links are awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm also sending Trudy.
That was real nice, the way you all got
Thank
into
you.
social media. Very nice. That was
No,
well.
the funny
Hey
thing
Gary,
about
you
it
have
is,
to
I
unfreeze
got
yourself. You're frozen. Go out and come back in, or just refresh your screen.
Okay.
Are you on your phone or your computer? Well, can you plug in? Can't you? Don't you have an AC adapter to your computer? Just a few minutes. Okay. Okay. I'll look for you on the screen. If I don't see you on the screen in the next minute or so, I'll call you right back. All right, thanks. Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Who's doing the next one right now?
Kathy Lee.
Religion.
Kathy, Trudy, where's the question? Do you have all the questions I sent you?
I
Okay.
think this
Thank
one.
you.
I think this one is all going to be what we've all experienced in our youth.
And Trudy, those questions I sent you are just kind of
Yeah.
get the
I
conversation
know.
started, because
I use some of them.
Kathy's gonna run with this, and then you're just gonna have to play off of wherever she goes.
Yeah.
And that's a good question.
Gary
Where's
is
Kathy
trying to
going?
get his.
I think Africans can remember something about their growing up under what we call African religion. We're going to talk a little about that with Trudy and friends, and welcome. Good evening, and I have with me Kathy Lee, the original. And then there's Gary Williams, who's the man about town. And don't forget Jerome Roberts, the Philly Yater. And I know all of you are right now thinking about the time when you were a child, and you out there too, when religion was a big part of your community. How about that, Kathy?
Well, my grandmothers were basically very religious. One was Seventh-day Adventist, and my father used to call that the safe religion. uh, his own, well, suffice it to say, that's how he thought about it. His mother was Baptist. My parents had us all confirmed Lutheran so they could be alone for a few hours without 5 kids underneath their feet, and we could walk to the street, walk across the street to go to church. But this is a topic I'm going to tell you right now that is, it can be quite contentious. And full disclosure here, I am for, I accept all beliefs. I do not judge anyone's religion. I honor it and I accept their belief systems. But I do have an opening question. And I guess growing up, like you're saying, Trudy, we were taught that everything African is bad. You know, African religion, voodoo is bad. Oh my God, it's like that. So why have we as a people been taught to believe that the practicing of traditional African religion is evil devil worshiping, pagan idol worshiping, and inherently wrong? And what was the purpose behind pushing these beliefs, and how has influenced us as a people? Uh, how have moving away from our traditional African religions impacted us? The bigger question is, have we really moved away from our African traditions? Because all of the stuff that you'll read will talk about how Christianity was brought into Africa, how Islam was brought into Africa. According to Diop and other people, historians, those things, there was no Christianity because Christ was not a Christian. That didn't come out till after his death. But it's like the whole concept of the Savior God, the Christ figure, left Africa, went outside of Africa, and got reconstituted by Justinian in Nicene, with 2 crucial elements that were indigenous African religion, and that's astrology and reincarnation.
Well, you
And
know,
this is where it gets
Kathy,
very, very interesting. Yes.
Kathy, you know what? While you're talking about that, I was thinking about my own teaching when I was young. And where did our teaching begin? We lost it. I guess we lost a certain amount of our so-called African religion when we were brought here. And we were forced to adopt a certain other kind of religion, which was called the American system. But everyone that comes here has their remembrance of their own religion from their own bringing up, or their own origin. So,
You,
what I want to
you
know,
abs-
what do you feel is an African religion? Was it the one that we brought, or the one that we were taught, or the one that we've adopted? What is African religion?
Okay, that is a very good question, but let me go back a little bit because according to Dr. Jackson and all of those, and even the stuff that I taught in the classroom, we're always looking at it. Again, my opening remarks were we are very spiritual people. And what we did was basically, when you talk about African American religion, it's just very different from European American
Mm.
Christianity. It's just to me, it's night and day. Uh, we really follow more and more the belief system of what's in the Bible. We take it at its word. Okay, that's what my grandmother did from my experience.
Hmm.
But we did so thinking that it's a foreign religion. But what happened was it was co opted and it was copied because all of the, and it's aligned with well, look at the 12 disciples. 12 is a big thing in African religions and early Christianity, East and Western. The zodiac, it's all linked to the zodiac, the 12 disciples, the
Hmm.
12 challenges of Hercules. It's all going around the zodiac and the astrological signs. And all the Holy Roman Catholic Empire did, they could not remove this religion. The early Christians that they were throwing to the lions were Africans. They're holy lions in Africa. So they were throwing them to the lions. And these are things that people don't know. So, what my understanding from Diop, what they did was they took our religion, they changed it, and then force fed it back into us, their version based on their own cultural beliefs. And that's what happened to the Christian religions or to the religion that Africans practice. But we put our Africanisms in it now. We dance in a circle, we singing around. There are a lot of Africanisms within African American religion. And, so I think it's time for us to stop saying they brought Christianity and stuff into Africa. It went out and it was changed because the Pope, when you look at him, he's in a pharaoh's robe. He snapped off the snake and put the ankh and changed it in front of the forehead, and voila, we have the Holy Roman Empire. And it became political. They removed, according to Diop and them, the spirituality that was in it. But what I did not realize until recently, just investigating this topic, was that, and I knew that the Egyptians or the people from Kemet always said they came from the small people in the South. And they're talking about what we call what the Mbutu or the Twi or the Twa or the so-called, I hate this name, pygmy. Okay? They said they came from them. The, they have a belief in Adam, the belief in the tree, everything, all of the elements of all of the religions all came from these small diminutive people in Africa. And it spread up through the Nile and it spread up into Ethiopia. And people say, oh, the Ethiopians became Christians. For what you call Christianity, they were always that. That's the point. And it doesn't matter if you're Yoruba or not, or Islam, it doesn't matter. It's always that, which is why it was so easy for a lot of us to kind of fall into it. But, it's just very interesting. So I'm just going to open it up to see what anybody else has to say.
Yes, I'm ready because if
Well,
what you have just
Kathy
told me,
Lee,
go ahead, Gary. I'll
Oh,
finish
oh,
later.
okay. So anyhow, so you were right with Diop and with Shankata Diop and the Dogon, the Twa, which they called the Pygmies. They could see the universe with their naked eye, which we talked about that before. And this is some of the things that Europeans couldn't even do currently with microscopes magnified thousands and thousands of times. We were definitely spiritual people, and we still are spiritual people, but we have to go within, and that's the issue that we're dealing with, going back inside ourselves to see who we truly are. And so they did in the non-scene conference, which you mentioned, Kathy Lee, change the way that things were gonna business was gonna be done. So, they wanted business done the way that they wanted it to be done, and that's when the dissension came in, where they threw this Christianity that they conjured up at us and came into, and still in Africa today, you have issues with this Christianity thing that they're throwing on us and people are following, because of the simple fact that they projected this white Christ, and this is where we're at right now, because when they projected that into your psyche, when you look at a white man with long hair walking down the street, you automatically say, wow, he looks like Christ, and that's interesting because in our psyche today, it still exists. So
Well,
that's
Gary, it
it.
doesn't exist in my psyche because I grew up in a black church where Christ was black. So, and I read the Bible where Christ had woolly hair and all that other stuff. So I never bought that Christ was white. And one of the ways in which Africans' traditionalisms have been distorted is that Africa had oral history traditions versus Europe, which had written or scriptural. So the difference between the Bible and traditional African religions is the Bible is written. African religions were, sent down through generations after generations after generations through talking and listening to elders. Traditional African religions had two different aspects in that they're still incorporated today. One was the spirit aspect, and the nature aspect. The nature aspect was easy: the weather, the rivers, earthquakes. That's nature. The spirits were humans. Humans are ancestors. The way we treated and respected our ancestors goes back to so-called traditional African religions. And a lot of that has been co-opted and taken out in us studying the current way we study either Islam or even Christianity. There's no reference into our own ancestors, to the people that we carry their genes. And traditional African religions always paid homage to the spirits, the human ancestors. I'm
But
70 years old. I'll be an ancestor soon. Not too
but
soon, of
Yeah.
Jerome,
course.
Jerome, everything you said I agree with, except when you said that it is oral. You see, once again, we fell into that whole hole because the pyramid texts are among the world's first scriptures written. Africans invented writing, so right away we said we're all oral. No, we're not just oral people. We created the first written languages on this planet to date that the world knows about. So the pyramid text and the coming forth by day that they misnomered and called the Book of the Dead. So Africans
Yeah.
have always had written language. That's my one
That's
point
true.
with that.
That's true. And also, Jerome, what I'm saying is that they co-opted us. So that's what happened with our. That's why I don't get into conversations about religion, because of the fact
Uh-huh.
that we know that we're the ones, and they know that we're the ones, and so we have to be taught or co-opted into the fact that we're not the ones, but we are, and we have to believe that. And we have, it says in the ancient Egypt, it says to know, to thine own self be true. That was one of the statements on the papyrus that you're talking about. The written texts that we wrote on papyrus, what they call papyrus paper, I believe, Kathy Lee. And we did have written, they probably can't even figure out, and they're still trying to figure out how the pyramids are built and how this was done. But then when we go back to the cultures of the Christianity and the different uh, names that they call the different statues, came from the Yoruba culture, where we had the different deities, where they chose to call their saint this and saint this and saint that. And the Catholic Church really came from our culture, which is the Yoruba culture. That's where we had
Well,
the different deities.
right. It
I don't
And
know
so
culture
too
they
is
much
just
based
about.
on
co-opted, they
Indian
just,
culture.
All
yeah,
right,
they
wait a
just
minute, folks.
co-opted,
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
they
mean to
just
cut you off that
co-opted,
way.
they just co-opted our belief systems. It wasn't really called religion. I mean, it was spirituality all along.
Well,
It's
Yes, I
we
right,
like that
never,
word. And
yeah,
what I
we
was
never
going to
right.
looked
Because
at
say,
it as we never looked at it as a religion. We looked at it as a
right.
spiritual
A spiritual feeling and emotion.
belief system. Yeah, right. Because we that's where we came from. It was always in us. It's just that in order
I
to
agree with
destroy a
you,
race of
Gary.
people, in order to destroy a race of people, you have to take their spiritualness away from them. And that's what's happening now with our children, is because, which is good too, that they're not going to the church, so to speak, but they still have to be.
Well,
That
he froze,
emotional.
Trudy. What were you going to say?
Okay, I came from just emotion. I don't know all this history. I didn't know it. I don't know who put it in me or who took it out. But I do know that there are certain things that happen in your life or my life that make me happy, make me sad, that make me look up to something that I don't know what it is, but it makes me look up and feel like something up there is bigger than me. Something is
And that
there
is,
that
yes,
looks after me. There's something
yes,
in there that even guides me, and it's a feeling,
yes.
it's an emotion. And I don't know about you all, but my training was helping my aunt get happy. This was something that was attracted to religion, being happy. Oh Lord, help me, give me the strength. Yes. And I would have to fan her so that she can get over happy in the church. That's the way I remember it. And we're going to remember some more of those kind of things when we come back with this subject.
Cut. Thank you, Trudy. So just to let you folks know, we threw to a break because Gary is frozen.
Oh, he did have
Okay.
a break.
That's why I had to throw to a break.
Yeah.
Quick. That's why I
Okay.
kept saying now.
Okay.
Okay, you did fine. That was great. You got it. So let me
When you
call
come back,
Gary and
Trudy, come
see.
back to me.
Say that again, Jerome.
I said, when you come back to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Miss Trudy can
Great.
throw to me.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Throw to Jerome to get that. I'm gonna give Gary a call. He was hoping that his battery was gonna hold up, so or something. Just plug your.
Tell Barry to get his equipment right and to test it a day before, man. Give me a break. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm
that's-
sorry.
That's we are professionals here. You're absolutely right, Gary. I mean, Jerome. No, I haven't. Okay.
I won't touch Islam because that's not an African religion.
Okay.
It
All right.
is
We'll
not.
look for you in the next minute.
But
okay, bye. Thanks. Bye.
A Muslim from West
So his-
Africa is totally different from an East African Muslim. Completely different thing.
Yeah, well, go ahead. What are you going to say?
So
Go ahead, Charlene.
Gary's computer is he's coming back in on his phone.
Will you be able to test it?
No, it's either in or it's not. You know.
And he's got a religion, so I hope he can get back in.
No, you should.
Well, we're going to Jerome first, Trudy.
I know we are.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here he is. Can you turn your phone the other way so you're not looking like, can you
Oh.
Turn the long way.
turn it the long way?
Okay.
You're going around.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I know.
Shorty, can you help him? There we go. Oh, no, nope. Turn, yeah, okay, leave it right there,
Yeah,
Gary.
yeah.
Okay.
Take your thumb out. There
Okay,
you go.
okay.
Good. Can you hold that?
Yeah. I could
And
hold
can you
it.
center
It's
yourself just a little bit?
Oh.
There. Move a little more. Yeah,
Okay, that's,
right there.
I'm fine with that, really.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't
so
know
we're
how to
coming
get-
back.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it's too much.
So my last sentence.
Okay. Can
Do
you?
I?
Can he?
No, Trudy's coming back from break. Gary, he's gonna go to.
She's
Oh,
gonna
He's
come
gonna
back
okay.
go
from break and
to.
throw to Jerome, but Shorty's saying that Gary, you need to rotate your camera
Okay.
until you can see your face.
I'm trying to go back on the computer. I don't know what happened. It got okay. I'm gonna try to go back on. Oh, wow. It ain't gonna work.
Just stick
So
with the
what do you want
phone.
me to
Just
do
stick with
now?
the phone.
Stay with the phone.
Yeah.
So Shorty, you
Do
ever
I
gonna
need
take
to
that 3-shot? Maybe we just can't take a 3-shot. Can you center yourself, Gary?
Yeah. How's that?
Just a little bit more.
How do I do
I need
that?
your both eyes in the frame.
Oh boy. I'm trying to get my
Little
computer
more to
back on.
your left, I think.
Wait, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Restore.
Gary, you're frozen again, and I'm not sure if
It's not frozen.
you're transitioning back to the computer or what.
Give me that old time religion. Give me that old time religion. Give me that old.
Give me that old time religion. It's good enough
It's
for
good enough
me.
for me.
And what old time religion are they talking about? They're talking about that old traditional African religion.
I don't know if it was traditional African or not.
Well,
It was,
okay.
I
Well,
don't
what
know.
is traditional
When you
African
say,
religion?
I don't
Traditional
know.
African religion is everything you're practicing now. Go ahead, Angela. That was my hero. That's what it is. And you don't ask me.
Aretha
Ask
Franklin. There you
Herodotus.
go.
Ask Herodotus. Ask all the Greeks. Ask the Romans. Ask all of them. They'll tell
And
you
so
it's all
what
African.
did they do in their day then? If it was the African, then what did they do?
What
They
did
danced.
they do?
Yeah,
No,
what did they do?
they started entering Africa, and the gods traveled up. They just traveled up. They sent all their kids to be educated in Egypt. Because Zeus, all of them, they're all. I mean, it's Osiris, it's Horus, it's everything. It's all African.
Yeah.
Even Islam, but
Okay.
Islam went through the same process that Christianity did.
Okay, here we go. Is he centered okay for you, Shorty? Okay. Okay, you're good. So Gary, please
Yeah,
don't move.
he's good now.
Okay. I'm gonna count Trudy down,
Okay.
and we have about 9 minutes left in this segment. You ready, Shorty?
Are you ready, Jerome?
Yes.
Okay. We're back with Trudy and friends, and we're talking about the African religion. Good old times, I guess. What do you say about it, Jerome?
Well, one of the things, and I mentioned and I alluded to it earlier, was in the traditional, so-called traditional African religions, they had two aspects: the spirits and nature. Well, the spirits were human, and human were the ancestors, or humans are the ancestors. The Black cardiologist wrote a book called Why Our Children Need Their Grandparents. And grandparents and the relationship that grandparents have with their grandchildren is demonstrative of the relationships derived from Africa, where the old people spent a considerable amount of time with the young people. The old people spend a lot of time with the babies until they're like 5 and 10 years old. And that way, they imbue in these young people values. That's one of the things that is missing a lot today. The destruction of what has happened in a lot in the black family can be can be looked upon as a destruction of an African religion, because the disruption of communication between a grandparent and a grandchild is necessary. You gain respect for your elders, you gain love for who you are and how you got to where you are, which is born and alive today. So African religions and the interaction with grandparents is demonstrative of that. And that is something we need to keep aware of. I'm blessed. I got 6 grandchildren, and I'm trying to see them as much as I can.
But Jerome, I agree. But I just want to piggyback off of what Gary said, you said, and Trudy said. But again, it has to do with images. Once they put the images in place, that visual image, the Sistine Chapel, when they changed the images of what the gods are that ancient classical Africans gave homage to. Once they put the images in, they shoved those images down our face. And it made us say, well, this religion that was ours, that they now made theirs, is being fed to us in such a way that it became a hindrance and a helper. I will say both. But there is one other thing I just want to say. We altered we didn't destroy African religion in America. We altered it. We altered it. I don't know how to say it. Something Jerome just said. I was trying to piggyback on that. It's not we altered it. We didn't it wasn't destroyed. It was altered, and we are, constantly fighting within ourselves. And images are very, very powerful. They're very
Mhm.
powerful, which is why they point to the Egyptian women on the look how light they were. That was for religious purposes. They all know they were chocolate, chocolate, chocolate people. But I don't want to get into separateness because religion has a tendency to separate people. In African religion, it was traditionally they had the same principles across the entire continent. They acknowledged that they all believed in the great God. They all believed no physical representation or images. They all believed that he was a spiritual being. They all believed that God is active, that he's a creative spirit, like Jerome talked about. They all believed in, like it doesn't matter whether you're East Africa, South Africa, West Africa. Those are the principal foundations of traditional African religion. So they weren't into all this separateness. They kind of blended it because they all believed in the same thing.
Mhm.
Well, I don't
And
know where they
also,
got it from, Kathy, but I know one
oh,
thing. When you're in trouble, the first thing you yell is, "Dear God, help me." So
yeah,
all of
and
us have
and all
something inside. That's what I'm talking about, the emotion and the feeling. It's something inside of us also, as well as painted on a wall or on an edifice. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Hmm.
but also they talked about Ra. So Ra was like the sun, and Akhenaten, which was one of the, I guess you could say that he was the leader of that time, and he worshipped the
Okay.
sun. And he had brought all the religions, but they did have different belief systems before that, but he brought them all, and they
Well, amen to that. Because if you say in church, Trudy, that old time religion, can I get an amen? You could pronounce it amen or amun. So that tells you that where the roots of that word come from and where the basis of that the foundation of the all basically the major religions of the world come from. They come from right out of Africa. And it does upset people, even Judaism, all of it. I mean, let's not forget, according to Diop and all of them, Moses, 70 people from Asia Minor, whatever, moved into Africa long after the pyramids were built and everything else, and then 400,000 those that wanted to walk out, as Diop said, excuse me, as Dr. Clark said, left. But that with after Moses prescribed, after Moses was in the coming forth by day of the scriptures, the 10 Commandments, all of those things are the negative confessions. I shall not kill. I shall not covet my neighbor's wife. All of those things came out of the pyramid text and the book of Hanufa, and all of these beliefs all these foundational religious beliefs, I don't care what religion it is, Islam, Christianity, or Judaism, they all have the basic foundations from Africa.
Well, I don't know where it came
Yeah.
from, but it feels good.
I
when
just
do
told you where
get
it came from.
when- I don't know if that's so, but okay, wherever it comes from, you still have that thing where you look up or you look down when things aren't going too well, and you cry to one thing, one person, one emotion in your body. You know,
Yes, you do. You do, Jerome.
Well, I was just going to say that in 2021, as we move into 2022, it is imperative that we learn about some traditions that escaped us, some traditions where that beat out of us, and some traditions that need to be re-embraced going into the new year. And knowledge is one of them. And knowledge is something that we gain from our ancestors. Our ancestors were learned, our ancestors were smart, our ancestors were creative, and our ancestors were spiritual. And if we embrace
Right.
some of those spirits, if we embrace some of those spirits, our current predicament, and this is one thing about so-called religion in America and putting blacks and slaves under baptism and all the other stuff, it did help ease some of the burden. Not all of it, but some of the burden. And you know, I've been blessed. I'm affiliated with a church that this year is 125 years old. And there's a lot of tradition and rich history there. Rich history that has taught me a lot about African religions and about how the plight and, more important, the substance of Black people and the Black experience in America. It's rich. You know, a lot of times they like to think we're a poor people, but we're rich in so much, and we need to just acknowledge it. And we're rich in our association of the spirits, or let's say spirituality. Thank you, Kathy Lee.
You're welcome. But you know, my last comment before I turn it over to Trudy is just to piggyback on what Jerome and we've all been talking about. One of the big components of African religion was the community aspect. They didn't have a special day like Sunday, which came from the sun, and you picked the day with like Western Christianity did. It was everywhere. They didn't have temples, they didn't have churches because they didn't need them because they were spiritual people. But we worked together. It was a community. It was a community. We looked out for the survival of everyone at the same time.
all I know is when you guys get to feeling badly, give me that old time religion. Give me that
Give me that
time
old time religion.
And we certainly
Give
understand
me
that.
that old
And you
It's
feel
time
good.
African to me. It's African to
African
me.
or whatever it is. It's a good feeling. And I hope you have a good day. It's been wonderful being with you. And don't forget us next week.
Cut. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I love that. Hey, this was Shorty. He said, hold your hand up. Hold your hand, Trudy. Give a high five. That's for Shorty. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, gang. See
That's
you
a
next
Thank you,
that's a
everyone.
deep
Thank you.
topic. That's a deep topic. I'm
It
telling
is.
you.
That's a very
It is.
it's a very deep
personal.
topic. And you
It's
know
a
what?
personal topic.
Everything you all discuss is just a deep topic that
Good
we can
stuff,
always
folks.
pick up
Good
a part
stuff.
two of. Again, because it's just a great conversation, great dialogue, and you all, I appreciate you all keeping it going and coming prepared and all that. And thank you, Kathy.
Great.
Thank you,
You
Jerome.
guys are great because I
That
didn't
was
know nothing
wonderful.
about nothing.
So I will send out an email tonight with the next two topics. Our next taping is October the 19th. Is that it? Let me see. Yes, the 19th at 10. And thank you all for being prepared at your setup and all of that, and lights and cameras. And I think, Shorty, can you have a talk with Gary and just make sure he has what he needs? Gary?
Hey, trying,
Gary?
yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we're done.
Gary,
We had
Yeah,
Gary, it's
yes.
Jerome. Are you
My
going to be there
battery
tonight?
went. Where?
Well, we're doing first Tuesday at the SEC, at this, yeah, the CEC.
First
That's
Tuesday?
okay.
Oh no, I
Okay,
don't
that's okay.
know. I got a lot.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. But listen,
I,
as far as your issues, can you like test everything the night before?
I did. What I did is the
Yeah.
battery is supposed to have been charged. I usually could
Thank
replace
you.
another battery, but the battery that I have,
Send your next question
evidently,
next time.
it heated up to the
You did
point
good.
that
Yeah, it's
it just
nice
went
to
out.
fall back on.
Well,
Can
it's
he
something to fall
edit
back
some
on.
stuff?
Yeah,
Can he edit? Can Shorty
yeah,
edit
it gets
You're
stuck.
fine as far
whatever
as the
it was?
production. Everybody covered you. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
fine.
good,
But
good.
Gary, this is what you want
Yeah,
to do. You don't want to
yeah,
rely on a
And
battery.
was that okay?
You want to
right,
have
Elaine,
your
to
phone
us?
plugged
Was there any
in
question or
to an
something?
outlet.
right, right.
Say that again?
That way, you
Well, it's
know,
not
you
my
can.
phone. It
My
was the
meeting
computer. It
came
was
to a
plugged in,
question.
but
Oh,
it
word.
was
They
plugged
say,
in, but it overheated. The
I
computer
I got
try to,
you.
overheated, and
I put a
it
question
Understand.
in there.
overheated, and
But
yeah,
long as
it
you
overheated, and
as long as
so
you go
it
to a coaching
malfunctioned.
restaurant, you
I
can
I
did.
Yeah, I
probably,
understand.
you know,
you can
I have a
yeah,
laptop
this
that does the
computer,
same
you want
thing.
to do it.
yeah,
Get it
yeah,
going.
and that was the problem. I probably need to get a new one. This is 2011.
Probably
Probably.
2011.
but
2011.
Even Miss Trudy got a
But-
computer
but
younger than
but
that.
Damn.
Damn.
yeah, they don't even make
Damn.
Sony Vaio.
2011.
I'm gonna get another one. It's a Sony Vaio. They don't even make them anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Samsung doesn't even make computers anymore.
Wow.
Oh my God,
The
Uh-oh.
Sony,
2011. I
the
can't
Son-
even do the math. That's so
We
long
got
ago.
another call.
Let your wife let
Let's
your
call the
wife play
doctor.
with that one. Let your wife have that one. You need to get a just
She
get a
was-
small
she was-
tablet
Come
for
on,
yourself.
I
Gary.
miss you guys during
Get it
the week.
together.
I know nobody called.
Okay, I'm gonna get. I'm
Nobody
gonna get.
says
I'm
a
going.
word until we get
I'm
together.
doing
every
like
2
I'm
weeks.
doing like I'm doing
So
like
I
Trudy
miss you. I
did. I'm
want you to
going.
know that.
I'm going shopping. I'm going
Okay.
shopping.
All
Okay.
right.
Ask
So
your
Jerome,
granddaughter. Ask your granddaughter. You think she? That's why I know she lied to you about she ain't
listen,
on
listen,
Facebook. That girl's on
listen.
that
All
damn stuff. Trust me when I tell
hey,
you. You got a
hey,
2011
listen.
computer?
You just said we can't beat each other up, so
I'm gonna beat you up
you're
about that. Come
contradicting.
on.
You're contradicting
That's before
yourself.
you said you had a computer from 2011.
Any guests?
Your
Yeah,
computer
well,
is as old as your granddaughter. Come on now, Ken.
yes, 2011. It's been
That's
been my
That
whole
was
All right,
there
so
when
you can
Christ
leave.
said, "Let there be light,"
Okay.
and they said your computer
Yeah.
switched. My God, Gary, now I understand why your shit don't work.
Yeah,
What's wrong with
pretty
this
much.
stuff?
Well, I got 2 batteries for it, but I see that it's time. So I'm gonna keep
2
it and I'm gonna get another
batteries.
one. Yeah,
Let your
that's
wife
how
have that one. But if she's like
yeah.
me, you gonna still have the
No,
old one because I'm gonna have a new
no,
one.
she's the one that burnt my other battery out. Usually I could just flip it and put the battery in and then continue like nothing
We
happened.
should stop promoting
But that
ourselves.
didn't happen. See, it overheats, and Shorty knows what I'm
It's
talking
10
about.
years old. It's 10 years old.
We just
The
Okay.
needed to be
average
So
running
life
for
of
an
a
hour
computer
straight.
is 3 years.
Yeah, well, I really had looked at the time and I saw the battery going to 38%, and I said, wow, I could put the other battery in, but guess what?
Wow,
That
it
was the
even
one
has
that,
a temperature. I don't remember the last time my computer battery
no,
had a freaking
you,
temperature. It's
yeah,
almost
yeah,
like
it does.
waiting for the
No,
Flintstones to meet the Jetsons. Oh
no,
my
they have these,
gosh.
they have these things you can put on the bottom.
I'm
That's a
ribbing you
fan.
now.
You
I'm
can,
ribbing your ass now.
there's a fan
Gary,
that you
Goofy
could,
off.
there's a
Kathy,
I'm
you
fan
Gary,
that
now
you
not.
go
could
like
put
Bless
the,
him
this.
with the computer.
there is a
Bless
fan
him
that you
with the
could put to the
computer.
bottom of the battery, and the bottom
A
of the computer, and it
fan?
blows out the
A
hot. Yeah,
fan?
you
A
didn't know about
fan?
that?
Get yourself a little
Yeah,
black boy
Shorty
woman.
knows
Get
about
your
that.
granddaughter. She can fan your computer. I've never heard of. Oh my God,
Yeah, there is a fan.
know,
You didn't know
Gary,
that?
Gary,
I'm
Yes, I'm
getting used to
Gary.
listening.
my tablet, and my tablet is a year and a half old, and I'm already
Oh,
ready to upgrade. So,
yeah, I
you
know.
know,
Yes.
I'm ready. It's
planned
time.
obsolescence still.
You can
So
get a
10-year-old
It's time.
computer for
stuff is
about
like, I'm sorry,
$300,
bro.
a laptop for about $300.
Yeah, I'm
But
gonna
your
get
You
one.
can
challenge,
get a
Jerome, is
used
you
system
need to
on
put
Amazon
your
for 200.
But you need your
Yeah,
cord, Jerome, to go into the server, into your tower. What do you call that thing? Your
Ethernet,
internet. No, if
Ethernet.
you can't plug it into your wall in your house, then it has to go into your What's that white
Ethernet.
tower called,
Wi-Fi.
Charlene? No,
Ethernet.
no.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
He has to use Ethernet. Ethernet,
No,
they call it.
yeah.
That's
I
direct.
understand it, but
No.
but the Ethernet
Router.
has to go into the router.
The-
It has to go into
the
your
modem, the
router.
modem,
Yes,
the modem.
yes.
Yes,
modem.
yes. That's
Yeah.
how you keep your connectivity.
Yeah, so Gary, we'll see your new computer on the 19th.
Yes.
Okay.
So
And
far we
Jerome-
did I think we did pretty good though.
Oh, he's double taking.
No.
He's trying to backstep.
No, we did not.
All
So
praise
we
be
will-
Allah, you get a new computer.
You know, this thing's
Okay.
running really smooth. So today ran really smooth, you guys. I think we got on, we got off. So Gary, we'll
Yeah,
see you
I got
new
it.
stuff on the
Yeah.
19th. Okay.
Okay, so what's our subject matters?
You'll get the email
Our
tonight.
subject matters are Black businesses,
Uh-huh.
and there will be subtopics within that, and then we will do
And
the cash
cast.
system with a million subtopics within that. Is there a cash within a cash? Whatever subtopics you want to, that's the conversation. The
Yeah.
umbrella,
Okay.
just the title is just a title.
And Gary, you're leading on
So-
Black businesses.
Gary,
Okay.
you're leading on Black businesses. See, you might have missed
Oh,
that when
okay.
you froze, but that's what
Okay.
happens when you freeze. We just kind of give you
Yeah, I
stuff.
know. Yeah, we
So-
froze our black businesses.
You're
So there's-
you're lead on that.
There are lists of black businesses. WURD, which is one of the
Gary,
most prolific.
you're going off again. You're digressing. You need to have a,
Gary.